Right, just here with Tim Coleman, Ricky's chief sparring partner for the Paulie Malignaggi fight. Thanks for doing the interview with RickyHattons.com, Tim. Just firstly, if you want to tell us a little bit about your background as a fighter, you know, a little bit about the amateurs and pro fights, etc.
Well, I started boxing when I was like 13 years old. My father, he was living in Baltimore, then he moved, that's where I'm originally from, and then he moved to Vegas and eventually brought me out there with him, and he started me in the gym. I had like 200 amateur fights. No real major titles, you know what I mean, but I pretty much grew up at in the gym around guys like Floyd, Steve Forbes. I trained in the Nevada Partners. It was Richard Still's gym when I was a kid, and I trained over at Faye Miller's Golden Gloves. It was Mike Tyson's gym, and I've been all around Vegas, so I've been around boxing for quite a while. I'm 15-1 as a pro. I got 3 knockouts. I lost to a kid named James Elderosa, 147 pounder. I'm kind of small for that weight class, so I moved back down to 140.
And that's the way, obviously, you're comfortable at, and that's the way you're gonna.
Yeah. I'm 5'5" and a half. You know, I got to throw a half in, but I'm pretty short. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge puncher. You know, but I've been fighting heavier, but just because I guess I kind of got a little bit overconfident because I'm better than pretty much everybody else. So I figured I could be a welterweight.
So you're quite heavily built. There's no way you could get down to 135. You're just too physically heavily muscled for that.
Well, if I cut my arms off, maybe I can make it.
Okay, so obviously a little bit about your amateurs and your pro fights, but how did you get involved with Ricky then? Obviously, as I said at the start, you were his chief sparring partner.
Actually, I was, I've always pretty much worked with like Roger and like Floyd, and when I was an amateur, and I was training with Floyd at the time, and one of Ricky's trainers now, my trainer Lee Beard, he saw me, then he gave me a call and told me he think I would be good sparring for the Malignaggi fight. So I mean, they brought me back to Vegas from Baltimore. I came over and worked with him for a couple of weeks.
So how did you find your time working with Ricky then? I know obviously privately I've discussed this with you, and how did you find him as a fighter? Any surprises?
The biggest thing about Ricky is, like that pressure that he puts on is real. I've seen him in fights, and he's exactly who I thought he was going to be in the ring. You know what I mean? He's a real strong body puncher. He comes forward. He never lets up on the pressure, and it was kind of exactly what I thought. Except this time, he moved his head a lot more than I've seen him do in past fights. And he blocked a lot of punches and stuff like that. So it was a bit different, I think, because him training with Lee and training with Floyd now. I think it's a lot more things I saw in the beginning of his career coming back out again.
Okay, and obviously you mentioned there that Lee Beard, Ricky's coach, is now your coach. So how did that come about?
I train with like I said with Floyd. Floyd has a lot of world champions. You know what I mean? And I've looked all around America for a great coach, and I couldn't find one. But then as soon as I started training with Lee, we meshed really well. He was training me for a fight that actually that fell out in California, and we worked up there for about a month, and just like the pads were, it was a lot similar to Floyd, so except he makes me throw a lot of real hard punches in there too, and it was just a real good match. Lee's real big on conditioning and knows a lot about nutrition, so I want to train with the best, so I came to Manchester for that.
So who were you with prior to Lee then? You were with Floyd Sr.?
Yeah, I was with Floyd Sr. Although I never had a professional fight with Floyd Sr., you know what I mean? But before that, I was with a coach named Robert Crawford, you know what I mean? Pretty good coach out of Baltimore, you know what I mean? But like I said, I needed to step it up a couple of notches, so I came to Manchester to train with Lee.
There's obviously been a lot of people, certainly Lee's fairly, well, you class him as an inexperienced coach over here because, he's not worked with any big-name fighters, although he has got experience in the game. People would say to yourself, what is it you've specifically seen in Lee that you would choose to walk away from someone like Floyd Sr.?
I don't know about, people making that comment that Lee's an experience, you know what I mean? I see a lot of experience. I've been around boxing my whole life. I've been around any world champion you can think of, from Floyd to Steve Forbes to Diego Corrales, you know what I mean? I've been around them all, you know what I mean? And Lee's a very experienced coach. The problem I find with a lot of coaches in America now is a lot of them are just into, said, oh, I trained these big name fighters, but they hadn't built them. They didn't start these guys out, from bottom up. So how can they say, they're the best coaches around? But He's a great coach. I mean, he has a lot of experience. I feel a lot of knowledge coming off of him when I'm listening to him in the ring. You know what I mean? He's a boxing fan, just like me before, you know, he's a coach. You know, we watch boxing, and he knows when a guy's dropping the hand or what move to make or what to tell somebody when they're in the corner and they're tired of shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great coach. I don't know about, I've heard a couple of interviews over the internet, you know, people talking shit about him, saying he's nobody, but who the fuck was that guy Ricky was training with before? You know what I mean? I think more than anything it was Ricky, because Ricky can fight at the end of the day no matter who the fuck trains him. No matter what coach you put in Ricky's corner, Ricky's going to always be a great fighter. You know what I mean? So I don't really think it's so much the coach. I think it's more the fighter, but I think the coach brings it out of you.
So you know, over here, obviously in Manchester, training for your next fight. Tell us a little bit about it. Where is it? Who's it against?
My next fight is it's in Baltimore. It's March 19th in Baltimore. I'm fighting a kid named Carlos Cisneros. I fought him before. You know, I'm pretty much looking at it as like a tune-up fight. He's a real tough Mexican kid. He's going to come forward. He's going to put a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? So obviously, I think it was a good match fit for me to come over to England because, you know, a lot of the fighters over here are pretty tough. They come forward and, you know, they come to bring the pain.
So what does the future hold for yourself then? What are you looking to do? Where are you looking to go? Because obviously Ricky's the king of 140 at the moment. So
I mean, you know, Ricky is the king at 140, but you know, I think as far as all those other older fighters, it's just time for new blood to come into the game. Because those guys, Ricky's, you know, Ricky's going to retire soon. I know it's going to happen. You know, all these guys are going to retire soon because they're getting up there in age. So, you know, I'm just trying to just keep picking the right fights and hopefully sign for promotional companies soon and yeah, and just keep fighting. I mean,
out of all the champions out there, then who do you think style suits you most as a fighter? Who would you like to take on of the current title holders? You've obviously got Timothy Bradley. You've got...
Oh Lord. Most definitely, I would love to fight Bradley, Ken Ho, any of those guys. I mean, pretty much like for me, after my next 3 fights, I'll fight anybody. You know, I'll take any challenge that my manager puts in front of me. You just let me know ahead of time that I got to fight. I'm not taking any fights on short-term notice, but I'll fight anybody out there. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as they weigh 140 pounds from 140 to 135, I'm there to fight whoever's there. You know what I mean? Amir Khan, please. You know what I mean? Those guys, I mean, I know he's like the British champion over here, but to me, he sucks, and most Americans think he's shit. You know what I mean? But, I mean, who's ever out there, whoever wants to fight, I'll take it.
So looking then, obviously you are over here, you're working with Ricky again, and Ricky's got this big, huge fight coming up with Manny Pacquiao. How do you see that going?
You know, I've looked on the internet and I've seen a lot of the British fans are a little nervous or worried about Manny's, you know, his power, his speed. You know, Oscar came to that fight with Manny drained